Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and we're going to be covering another Girl Defined blog, so stay tuned and see what this is all about. Okay guys, still trying to catch up on the filming schedule from the Tooth Debauchery, so let's get on with some Girl Defined. So today I'm going to cover the Sex and the Single Christian Girl. This was written by Bethany. Yay! She posted this on May 20th of 2019. So let me go ahead and try to pull this up real quick. I've gotten to where I copy and paste theirs because they have a tendency to delete their blog post and a lot of things off of their channel, off of their webpage. So I just copy it and put it over in a note file just in case they decide to do that, because they've done it to me too many times. And since I've gotten this tooth pulled, I'm having a lot of dry mouth issues because my mouth is trying to heal. And I can't drink a Coke right now, which is killing me. But anyway, let's move on. So, in the opening, she's talking about how Christians have closed off views of sex. She even says that they view it as scary and confusing and distorted and negative or in unhealthy ways, which is very true. When I was younger and being raised in the church, it was always like one didn't talk about it. We were always like shunned away from asking any questions about sex, especially when we hit our teen years. It was just like, no way, no how. If you were caught holding a boy's hand at church, you were like lectured up and down. And I was raised Southern Baptist, so it was these like hellfire and brimstone lectures about how you were going straight to hell and all this and that and the other. And a lot of these, for Bethany, this is like her whole purity culture thing. So it's, negative stigmas. They're placed through the religious, and they're taught these through Sunday school, VBS, church camp, etc. In Southern Baptist, it's just like, you're going straight to hell, you're having negative views, you're going straight to hell, you're going to burn for eternity, brimstone's going to rain down upon you. Like, it was just the shit that nightmares are made of. Anyway, so instead of waiting until you're dating or engaged or even married to gain a helpful biblical perspective, begin the process now, is what she's explaining to single Christian girls. However, that also leads to a very unhealthy view of sex, because the Bible is very male-centered. It's all about the man. It's all about what the man wants, what the man feels is right, what the man desires. The woman is very subservient, slave-like, and, just bowing down to the man in the Bible. So, if you're reading the Bible for your sex advice, you're literally screwed. Bethany states that single women will learn that sex is not the end goal, but deep, intimate, all-knowing relationship with God is the true end goal. No. What you learn from reading the Bible is that you are supposed to bow down to your husband like you bow down to God and pop out a whole bunch of babies. That's what you learn from reading the Bible. Then she talks about, as she was co-writing the book, with with Kristen. And she references their book several times throughout this whole thing. She says that Bethany states that all women are sexual beings. I do agree with that. I'm going to regret agreeing with Bethany. I know I am, but I do agree with that. Women are sexual beings. We have a sex drive. We have a desire to have sex. We have a desire to be pleased. I don't think that Bethany is going to go along that route. But let's go on. She goes into what she learned through writing the book, and she starts bullet pointing that stuff. She said, incredible sexual experience isn't the end goal in life. I disagree. Biblical sex is 1,000,000 times more amazing than what Hollywood offers us. I disagree. True intimacy is about loving, serving, and giving. I disagree. Single women can experience the reality of true intimacy without getting married. Yes, but not in the way she's talking about. Single women's longings and desires for sexual intimacy are a beautiful reminder that sex is only a metaphor for a deep, all-knowing relationship God created us to have with Himself. I disagree. She began to understand the definition of yada. No definition is provided. Began to understand so many things she had not fully grasped before. No such information was provided. So let's go through this. Incredible sexual experience isn't the end goal in life. Yes and no, okay? No in the way of everybody should have some incredible sexual experience sometime in their life. Yes, you should. Is it the end goal of life? No, you should have a very fun-filled, full life. You should have an incredible life that when you get old, you look back at your life and go, that was a wild ride. You should have stories when you sit back and you tell your kids, be like, you should never do that shit. And your kids are going to go do that shit, and then they're going to tell their kids you should never do that shit. My dad told me stories when I was a kid, and it was like, you should never do that shit. And I've been telling my kids stories now that I'm older, and I'm like, you should never do that shit. I know he's doing stuff now that he shouldn't be doing, but he's going to have a great life. My kid's a lot better than I was at his age, but I digress. Biblical sex is 1,000,000 times more amazing than what Hollywood offers us. I wholeheartedly disagree. There is nothing in the Bible that ever offered me anything but shame, made me feel horrible, made me doubt myself, made me feel less than anything. I always felt like I was infinitesimally worse for being alive when I was in religion. I was at my most suicidal, self-harming when I was in religion. Because I was always told my main goal was to get married, have children, serve my husband, listen to everything he said, do what he said, never question him, never think for myself, never do anything outside of what he told me to do, always listen to him because he was the head of the household, he was the closest to God, and I would never, ever be able to aspire to anything higher than that. And that did never, ever set right with me. And as soon as I got outside of religion, as soon as I got out of religion and realized I could do whatever the fuck I wanted to, and I could be whatever I wanted to, even in my lowest moments, when I had nothing, when me and my children lived off of the bare minimum, and I had to scrimp and save for everything, and I had nothing, I felt so much better than I'd ever did inside of a church. I felt so much more comfortable than I ever did inside of a church. That should tell you something. True intimacy is about loving, serving, and giving. Okay, loving, yes. Serving, no. You could take that word right out of that sentence, and I would be okay with it. I have a huge problem with that. When I married my husband, the one word I would never say was obey. My husband always asked me why that was, and it was because of the religious dogma that was shoveled down my throat growing up. I cannot stand that. I will stand by you in the darkest of days. I will be by your side no matter what. I will be your ride or die bitch no matter what happens or what goes on. But do not tell me to serve you. Do not tell me to obey you. I am not a damn dog. I am not a damn slave. I hate that. It drives me crazy. And that all stems from that religious dogma that they shoveled down my throat from a young age. Single women can experience the reality of intimacy without getting married. Now, in all possibility, yes. But under religious dogma, no. You can have all the fun you want in the real world and experience everything you want without getting married. Under a religious dogma, no. Under a purity culture, no. Because you can't have sex. You can't do anything. Under Bethany and them's rules, you can't even hold a motherfucker's hand. So, no. Single women's longings and desires for sexual intimacy are a beautiful reminder of that sex is only a metaphor for the deep and all-knowing relationship God created us to have with Himself. No! Sexual desire was and is your longing to be connected to another human being, a person, a physical entity that is right there with you. That is a reminder that you want to be with somebody, not an imaginary friend. She began to understand and the last two she doesn't give any freaking context for, so we don't have a way to break those down. Moving on. So a little bit later in the blog, she finally gives this definition for yada. To know deeply, intimately. Okay? She says that God uses the word to describe not only His relationship with people, but also sexual intimacy. And Bethany believes that single women can experience yada through their relationship with God, and no, you cannot experience a deep sexual intimacy with an imaginary friend. It's not possible. So stop it. I don't get it. What is wrong with these girls? They're in their late 20s, early 30s before they ever freaking have their first kiss. I mean, what is wrong with you? Then, let's see here. Then she goes on to say that Bethany states that God is offering single women an authentic biblical relationship. And she quotes Psalm 139, 1, 13, and 14. You have searched me, and you know, yada, my heart, for you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows yada it very well. I'm not even touching that with a 10-foot pole because it is just that stupid. There is something seriously wrong with Bethany. She is special. She's just special. She is trying to say that you could have a sexual, intimate relationship with God. Are you going to be the next Mother Mary? Like, what the fuck? And then she says, single women are sexual beings. Everybody is a sexual being. Everybody has a sexual desire. Everybody. You're not special. Every single person has a sexual desire. Why did God create you this way? No direct answers given, but she pushes you to read more blogs, watch their YouTube videos, and buy their book. Why did God create you this way? God created everybody to have a sexual desire. From the bullshit that they push is for everybody to go out and be fruitful and procreate. Evolution created everybody to have a sexual desire, to keep everybody procreating, to keep a race going, to keep a section of people going, to keep a population going. It's not that hard of an understanding, people. If people stopped having a sexual desire and we stopped having babies, the human race, after a certain amount of time, would die the fuck out. It's like if the monkeys stopped having sex, they would die out. If the giraffe stopped having sex, they would die out. After a certain amount of time. If people did not have a desire to procreate, that race of whatever, whatever, would die out. It is an evolutionary trait that we have to keep us alive. So, just like every other freaking blog, they end the blog with a what about you question. She only has one. It says, what practical steps do you need to take in order to gain a more biblical view of God's design for sex? I need to take no more steps because I got a very intimate view of that when I was between the ages of 13 and 16 and in the church. And the very biblical view of Southern Baptist is that you find you a good old boy at the church and you start dating, and when you turn 18 you marry that good old boy and you immediately start popping you out some youngins, and it doesn't matter how much that good old boy beats on you or cheats on you, you keep popping out them youngins and you stay with him. Because I've got some friends that are still in that church, that are still married to that guy they married when they were 18 years old. They've been dating since they were 17 years old or 16 years old, or some of them since they were 13 years old. That have had their cheekbones smashed in, their jaws broke, One girl almost killed that have a good 8, 9 kids now. They just keep popping out them babies like they're supposed to. One girl came close to dying in childbirth because she keeps popping out babies even after the doctor tells her she's not supposed to have any more. But that's a good Christian biblical view of what you're supposed to do in a Arkansas Southern Baptist church out in the country. What are the legal ramifications for any of that? The law doesn't get called. Church elders get called. And they ask her what she did. To which he replies, well, I told her to have dinner done when I got home from work. And it wasn't done. To which the elders reply, well, maybe you should work a little harder. Yeah, that's how it works around here. Everybody wonders why I got out when I got out. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for that nice and lovely sex talk from a Girl Defined blog post today. Now that my blood pressure is up good and raised, I'll get up and do some housework now before I have to get my son up and ready for school. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, ring that bell. In the comment section down below, let me know what you think of Bethany's lovely blog post, and tell me, what were your experiences inside of the church when you were younger or even when you were older? And what were the Christian views on dating or sex in your church? In the description box down below is my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also my email. Facebook and Instagram mainly are just going to tell you, hey, my videos are live. Go check them out. Twitter's mainly going to be where you can go find me fighting with people. It's kind of where I go and comment on things, and then people take offense to my comments, and they snap back at me, and I snap back at them. It gets kind of funny sometimes. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out. If you want to talk to me privately, you can message me on any of those or also email me. And I'm open to talk to anybody. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me today, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.